Day, because that's why we're all here today. So this exhibition, which I'm sure you would have seen, is called The Bright, the Bold and the Beautiful, and I have two very bright, bold and beautiful women inside of me. Now, just firstly, I wanted to say something quickly about International Women's Day, because it's something that's kind of slipped under the radar here in Australia, but over in Europe, it's incredibly big, and the men go out every morning, every year, to get flowers for their loved ones, but not just their wives, for their daughters, for their sisters, for their work, people who work for them, Adrian. So basically anyone who's, you know, a woman powerful and important in their lives. So I just wanted to bring that up, just as a, you know, we know it's a day off in China. Day off in China. It's a day off in China. Exactly. So I mean,
is it really twice a day off?
It's a big day. Wow. It's a big day. So you've got lots to live up to, man.
In China when the women get a day off.
So, what was I going to say? Right, and then the other thing is, Rosella Namok, you might have noticed, isn't here tonight, unfortunately, even though it's advertised. She actually had an unfortunate family crisis and was unable to come, but will be coming to do an artist workshop later on in the month. So if anyone's interested, see one of us and we'll put your name down and let you know the exact dates. It will be fantastic. She's going to talk to you about where she paints from, you know, her country, her the stories that her grandmother was told her, where she paints from, but get you to paint your own stories and your own passion. And she'll teach you the way that she was taught by her grandmother in the Lockhart River. So it'll be a fun way for all of us to kind of get together and literally use our fingers in the canvas, because as you can see, there's one of her works upstairs. That's also one of hers on the wall just there, but one upstairs is a good example. It's called Young Couples, and she actually uses her fingers in the canvas through the wet paint. So it'll be fun. So let us know if anyone wants to know the dates. But otherwise, I'd like to introduce our two kind of speakers, guests this evening. Lola Forrester is the voice you hear in the morning on Koori radio. And then we've got Jenny Kee. So Lola, you want to say a few words?
I'm Lola Forrester. I'm a Uruberi South Sea Island woman. So in other words, my people come from Mackay in Queensland, and the other side of my roots are from the slavery from the Solomon Islands on my father's side, and on my mother's side is from the island of Tanna. And I've just got to put this in. This year is the 20th year of Human Rights and Equal Opportunities, recognising Australian South Sea Islanders as a unique people. And next year is the 150th anniversary of slavery in this country. So we're doing a lot of celebrations here because we have a lot of combination of Aboriginal and South Sea Island people. I'd just like to acknowledge the traditional owners of this country, which is the Bidjigal people here, and they stretch right down to, almost down to Wollongong. Gadigal people are more in the city than they are on the coast here. Also too, we know it's International Women's Day, and as the theme is economic empowerment for women throughout the world. And as they say, women, you know, we work the most in the world, but we only get 10 to 30% of wages of the men. And as they say, 90% of women put their money into their families, where men only put, what was it, about 30 to 40% in families. Well, most men. Maybe there's some men here that put it in. Someone did tell me today that their father put 100% in their family. This is a great opportunity that, you know, with the artwork that we have, and we're seeing a lot more women being empowered these days. We're seeing a lot more women coming up, and we just heard in the news just recently that there are a lot of women now that are empowering themselves in their own home businesses now and becoming quite successful. And as we know, you know, with all these men that are wealthy, they've always been strong behind them because they wouldn't be able to get the wealth that they've got. So, you know, I'd like to welcome you all here to Bidjigal country.
Been curated as a bright and colourful celebration of Indigenous women. So the artists range from young, old, from all over the country as well. We've got Central Desert artists, Western Desert artists, we've got artists from far north Queensland. Everything's kind of represented here. So it's yeah, I guess I hope you get as much enjoyment out of it as I know we're going to over the next couple of weeks that it's up here in the gallery. And I'll hand it over to Jenny now. So Jenny Kee, when I tried to work out who I wanted to open the show, couldn't really go past Jenny Kee. And I'm sure you all know Jenny and recognise her. And she's pretty much the epitome here in Australia as the bright, bold, and beautiful. So.
Well, I think this is a very auspicious day to be opening this show, being International Women's Day. But the thing is that I just wanted to talk personally about what inspires me, and I've been doing some art lessons up at the Waverley Art College, and I have to say that just painting, looking at Western artists and extraordinary painters, of course I think extraordinary, amazing, learn how to shadow, learn to do this, learn to do that. Well, you know what, I come down here and I go, you see, this art takes my breath away. It just takes my breath away because I'm a colourist. So when I walk into Adrian's and to this show that Mary's curated tonight, I just feel totally inspired, and it's so full of passion and meaning. And the thing is that I paint this flower that is my totem called the Waratah. And I think now I just want to have another exhibition and I want to do it differently. And I think, but everyone will say, you just keep painting Waratahs. But when I come here, I understand why I keep painting Waratahs. Because that is my dream. And this understanding of Aboriginal art helps me to understand and own how I can paint the same thing again and again, slightly differently. Like we want to look at that beautiful painting called this is a woman called
Angelina Woods from CFS Country.
And she continually paints her two sisters' dreaming story from the top to the bottom. But those aren't just wiggles.